Adam and I have been married for 8 years, almost 9 years, it'll be in March.
Yep.
And when we first got married, we were both 20 years old, and so kind of young and stupid, I guess you could say. A little naive about the whole situation and not even really secure in ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it was. It was just, you know, young and in love, and you thought that that was going to be enough to get married and have a perfect life, for sure.
And then things started to get hard, and you learn a lot more about each other, and money and time and all those things come into play, and you're trying to do it all on your own, and it just doesn't work, and you just get frustrated. And then when I was 23, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that brought a whole new element into our relationship that a lot of people don't even have to go through, but we had to figure out how to get through it. And when you're trying to rely on your own strength, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the hardest things we had to go through as a couple, and I definitely was relying on myself and trying to figure out how I can help Jess and what I can definitely do to get us through there. And we probably wasn't too much long after that before we realized probably wasn't the best way to do it.
You just kind of go on auto drive when you go through something like that, and we went on auto drive, got through it, whatever. I was healthy after that, and we moved to Omaha.
When we moved to Omaha, it definitely was a big change. I felt like we were kind of going to be more on our own, away from our families, and that definitely put a lot more stress, at least on, I felt like I had a lot of stress in my life, just making sure that we can survive on our own, and definitely a lot of responsibilities that came with that. And I think one of the most stressful parts was growing up in the church, knowing that God needed to be a part of our marriage. I felt like it was kind of missing, but yet it didn't feel like we were doing much about it. I think we were up here at least almost a year before we even started looking to go to a church, so that was definitely a really, really hard part.
And the move had kind of put an extra stress on our relationship, and we were already kind of in auto drive, and you know, we had all these expectations of each other, but it was really hard because I had just started a new job and Adam was still going back to Lincoln for school, and it was just really difficult to find the time to put God into our relationship. We both knew it needed to happen, but neither of us were willing to kind of invest that time because we were just so used to doing it on our own, but it obviously wasn't working. And you know, I love my husband very much, and there are people that you have to love, but you don't have to like them all the time, and so I didn't really feel like, you know, we didn't have a really close connection or a good friendship. And then we found Finding Life Church, and just the way that we were encouraged to kind of feed truth into our lives and seek it together, and you know, get into a life group and process with other people that are going through exactly the same stuff that we were in kind of a non-judgmental environment was just a really great opportunity for us to start moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I definitely think that that was a big key to help us get renewed, and it was just finding God in a different way. I always knew I should have a relationship with Him, but it felt like it was surface level. And at Finding Life Church, with the core values, I think the first thing I always struggled with was surrender. And I never surrendered myself to God. And I felt like I could never be fully committed to you or a relationship, but being in a life group and just opening myself up and having accountability for what my actions were, sharing that with other people was probably the best thing for us, or at least for me.
And I think when we both decided to surrender to God, it was just kind of like everything blossomed from there. And you know, it's not all sunshine and roses every day, but it's definitely been a lot easier to kind of have that as our foundation and something to fall back on when we are starting to try to do it ourselves again, which is not a place that was very fun. Everyone starts out in their marriage thinking that it's just going to be this perfect life and you'll be best friends, and you know, it's carefree and, you know, as long as you love each other, that's all you need. And that's just not true. I mean, the life circumstances get in the way and they just suck the joy out of everything, and it becomes really difficult to manage on your own.
Yeah, and definitely relying on that strength is probably not the best foundation you can have of like, oh, love's gonna last and we can do everything together. I just feel that being in a full relationship with God is truly renewed, and what we can have as a friendship, as a couple, and growing a family has definitely taught us what we needed to do or to have in life.
And I think the key is to really surrender individually before you can really learn to love each other fully.
Ditto.